Oh, what is that?
The video is going live.
Oh, yeah.
Live
Yeah.
online.
See what we get.
I go back and look at the stuff later because I'm teaching in other classes. It's wonderful.
Oh, well, good.
Particularly the Monday, Wednesdays. I've got nights, I've got classes I'm teaching, so I go back and look at that and say, okay, I didn't know that either. There's a lot I don't know.
Yeah, and especially if you ever see him, thank Mr. Hogan because he took over the editing of them.
I did not know
So
that.
at the end of every day, there's like this super long 5 or 6 hour video. He goes and makes all the individual videos out.
Okay.
Wow.
And he's been steady, like, ever since I showed him at the beginning of, you know, when all this happened.
Right.
And then we were in S-cams first, which were really hard to mess with, but once we got onto YouTube, they're easier to edit, but still, he goes through and he edits and names them and adds them to the lists and all that.
That's fine, that's,
Yeah, he's one of my apprentices,
Would it
Hogan.
be easier just to put a bunch of bookmarks on one big file?
No,
No?
I don't think so. No, someone did that for us in the beginning. Mr. Lyon had that idea. And so he took one big super long video and he found out when each part started and ended. But then you'd have to be good enough at YouTube to understand to open it up and then click on the thing that gives you the description of the thing and then read all the little things in the thing and then do it. So
yeah, that sounds tedious.
and then you can't add it to a playlist because
Okay.
it's the whole day.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So not a bad idea. We did almost go down that route, but the cutting it and then naming it for what it is and then adding it to a playlist so it's in order for the unit means that in the long run we can go back through all of those and find the good streaming playlists and put them together and make them available. Like right now, if you go to the curriculum page on the website, in the
Right.
members area,
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with head instructor Hunter to take the playlists that we've been having and put them in the appropriate spot. So you know, before we had like you could look for the Nekung where I was teaching it from off some old videos I made 20 years ago. But then in that same section is a playlist of senior head instructor Hunter and then head instructor Durkin teaching a whole Nekung unit. Or so there's now more playlists of classes in there.
I haven't checked that out. I will.
And then if once, at some point we have to curate it and kind of go, well, this one's not really that great. Let's get it out of there. Let's put this one in here because at some point you can only watch so many Nekung live streaming videos.
Welcome back.
It's all
Welcome
set up.
back.
Thanks. Glad to have you back. Thank you.
How to head instructor.
How to intermediate level students at home. Welcome everybody. Let's go ahead and do some breathing. Place your hands on the abdomen, feet comfortable distance apart, lips lightly sealed, teeth gently meshed together. Close those eyes and we'll begin to focus on deep, relaxed breathing. As you breathe in, feel the abdomen go out. And as you breathe out, feel it come back in. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. With each breath, begin to imagine that cascade of relaxation flowing down the body from the top of your head all the way down to the bottoms of your feet. Feel your face and jaw relax. Neck and shoulders relax. Chest and upper back relax. Shoulders and arms feel heavy. Feel the flow of relaxation through your waist, into your hips, through the thighs and backs of your legs. Allow your knees to soften. Feel your calf muscles relax, your ankles relax, and the bottoms of your feet relax. Breathe in deeply, breathe out slowly, be relaxed. Next time that you breathe out, go ahead, lower the hands and open your eyes. We'll begin our first posture of embracing horse. Separate the feet shoulder width apart, toes turned in, knees out, get your tuck. Just make sure your shoulders are relaxed. And if you can, your hips are a little bit forward. You can sit your hips back just a hair, so you fold. So don't lean back. There you go. There you go. Good. This looks very good. Just some softness into those arms a little bit. It looks like they're a little bit back. Same shape, just soften. Yeah. Good. Same from here. Relax those arms. You might want to bring those in just a little bit for the size of your stance. May I touch? So try not to crimp here. So you're thinking rounded, connected, but don't pinch off. Yeah. Does that make sense? So you're rounded, but open. Yeah, good. Thank you. Welcome. Hold for about another minute. If this becomes strenuous, whether you're here in class or at home, it's okay to come out of it, relax, and then realign yourself. If it's possible, it's really not a good idea to force NACOM. I mean, there's going to be times, like on a test, where, sorry, you're going to have to just do it. But barring that, stay relaxed. And if you feel yourself tensing up or gripping or, back tightening up, just come out and go back into it. And release, straighten the legs, lower the hands. And now let's start posture number 2, ride the wild horse. Start in the middle stance. I'm still reintegrating from a week in a trauma ward, so I'm gonna go light today, so I might be kind of,
You okay?
not me, it was my mother, and she's still there. But Anyway, so I'm kind of beat up, so I'm gonna do some of it, and then some of it I'm gonna walk around and give some help too, so.
Help is
Let's-
always good.
Yeah, so, and inhale, arms up. And exhale, down. Push off, inhale. And exhale. Again, inhale. This feels pretty good. I've been in a cramped chair for a week. And down. And up, inhale. And exhale. Okay, small stance. And your feet, if you're able, have those toes touching. If not, it's okay to separate them a little bit, depending on your hip alignment. And inhale. Slowly inhale, feel that connection. And exhale, reach till you feel yourself tipping, then sink down with the legs. Good, good. Exhale. And then, yeah, sorry, I got my inhale and exhale. Next up, come on up this pain and good. Good. One more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Try to keep that tuck and head suspended. Excellent, Mr. Payne. And inhale. Push with those legs. Relax the shoulders. And exhale. And now the wide stance, so shoulder width apart. And I know it's a little bit different than how CK2 describes it, but for me it's always helpful to think about getting that tuck now. And if I have that, and I have my brain kind of in this tuck part, it helps me keep it as I start to reach forward. And I feel connected too. So I feel the root through my feet like they're rooting literally down into the earth. Got my tuck, and I inhale, I plug those feet in. Really feel them engage the floor. And exhale, reach. Keep the shoulders down though as you reach. And relax into it. And inhale, push with those legs, which is what starts the movement. Slowly up. And exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. It's counterintuitive, but as soft as you can be with these postures, the better success you will have and the better they will feel. And inhale, push off. And exhale. Good, posture number 3, playing guitar. Let's start with the left foot, wide angle. Shift, circle the arms around. Good. Okay, this looks a little wide. Bring it back towards you a little bit. That'll feel a little more comfortable. And then straight leg on the front as best you can so you're, yeah, it's back shift. Good, good, good. It could be a little closer together too. There you go, probably, that looks more comfortable. How's that feel?
It feels better.
Good. And then same thing, you bring it a little bit closer together. So this one is not double dragons. This is going to be a little bit narrower. Maybe even just a tiny bit more. Yeah, try that. Does that feel a little more stable?
It's all good.
It's okay? Okay, good. Excellent. You, this is perfect distance this way. You could maybe be an inch that way. Yeah, yeah. Good, 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 good. And then keep this exactly. Sit up. Tiny bit. Good correction. You were there before I even said it. And just maybe 15 more seconds here. release. Shake it out. Seeing grimaces, that's good sign. That means you're doing it right.
You can see the grimace?
Yeah.
This one I saw the eyes like, oh. So it matched.
Clear.
It matched. It'd be very hard to just, with eyes and nothing happening muscularly here. So, all right. Let's try the other side, right side out, wide angle, shift. About 10% of the weight ends up on that front leg. Good corrections from my pass through, very good. And so remember here, even though your leg is working hard, nice soft neutral shoulders, good head suspended. So really the only thing that you really feel working is that back thigh. Everything else should feel pretty relaxed. Everybody looks great. And release. Straighten that leg. Shake it out. And compass. So, shoulder width apart, or a little wider in this instance, but like we always say, toes turned in so the outside edges of the feet are parallel. Feel your tuck. And then you're going to reach up, but when you reach up, don't shrug. Keep those shoulders down. And to the left. Hold here. Good. There you go.
Kind of.
Yeah. And then down over the left foot. Keeping that tug. Excellent, Mr. Payne. Rock your elbows a little more. Good, good. Wrap your elbows a little more, Mr. Watkins. So you actually have your spears in. Good, good. All right. And out. Reach out. Excellent, Mrs. Payne. Excellent, Mr. Payne. Very good.
Oh, that's fine.
Flatten a little bit through here. And can you straighten your legs at all? There you go. And then try to flatten through here, relax the shoulders. There you go. Good, 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 good. Down over the other side, other leg. And remember, we're letting gravity do the work, so we're not straining as best we can. You can relax your neck a little bit, Mr. Bean. Let your head hang a little bit if you want. And roll up. And back. Lift through the chest. It's okay if the knees bend on this one. It only makes sense for that to happen. And continue rolling so you feel your back kind of come out of that arch. And then back up to center. And other side. To the right. Good correction. Remember, you want to have like a wall on both sides of you. And you can soften your arms and shoulders a little bit, so you're reaching but softly, right? So there you go, good. And down over the foot. Gravity. If you can, straighten your knees a little more, Mr. Payne. This one, your legs are actually straight.
Straight.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there you go. And reach out, tabletop with that back. Really, you really feel straightening through the legs in this one. So the straighter the better on the legs without being locked out. Nice flat backs, very good. Good reaching. And down for the other side.
That's great instruction, by
Great reaching?
the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
great instruction.
And roll up. Really good improvement. You guys are really doing a great job at internalizing those deep dives. Good, good, good. And then roll out of it. And back up. Good. So Mr. Loomis appreciated the reach because that's what we're, in that compass, that posture, as we get to here, it isn't just this. I'm really reaching. So I've got my tuck, shoulders down, and I'm pushing back with my knees and heels. And I'm imagining someone's pulling on my front arm. So if there's a push-pull sensation, that really helps you kind of get into the sensation of the compass. So if you don't have a person to pull on you, imagine me coming around and pulling on you. All right, number 5, double dragon's leap from C. Let's do it. So shoulder width apart. Let's go ahead and turn the right toes out. First, step forward into a walking lunge and that push. And fold down for that stretch. So if you're able to, push out that knee and pull down on the front leg to just get a little bit more range of motion in your back. Yep. And if you're at home, get you started here, so down here. All right, form that circle with your hands. Now remember, you're going to face forward. Try not to be at an angle here. So we're forward, and then inhale, up, and slowly down. And remember, as we talked about, the hips don't move forward or back all that much. Continue. It's a subtle, I mean, my weight is shifting, but my pelvis really isn't moving all that much. And fold down. Good. Excellent. And inhale, up. Continue. And up. And just do a few more on your own pace. Just remember the inhale and the exhale. I tend to try to do double dragon's leap from C when I'm folding laundry and putting it on shelves. I imagine I pick the thing up and I put it on the shelf. So there are all kinds of places you can practice this in your daily life if you are geeky enough to explore that. And this will be your last one. So come on up. And release and switch sides. So we will be left toes out, right forward, walking lunge, down to that stretch. Remember, we're trying to keep this pelvis level and tucked. And up, down, up. It's okay to go on your own pace. Just remember the inhale on the up and the exhale on the down. Good. I like it, Mr. Payne. Try the quick ones. Good job.
Mr. Fake.
Did he do the fast ones?
Oh,
Yeah? And when you come up, release. And shake it out. So I hear my coworker expose you guys to the quick ones. So those are always, if you feel up to it, just like Phoenix, there are fast ones for this one. And it's like fast form. It helps clean things up. You don't necessarily have time to do some of the other weird things that sometimes we put into our techniques if we have too much time to think about it. So you find out, am I balanced? Am I rooted? And you'll find out if you're not, because you get off balance. So, all right, number 6. What is it?
Rhinoceros.
It is rhinoceros. All right. So this one too, you can go a little wider than a shoulder width if you'd like. But think embracing horse legs, circle the arms around. Let's go ahead and have that left hand on top. And extend and rotate. Keep the lower body still. Very good. Yep, I see incorporation of everything that we had talked about. Very good. And center. Other side. Center. To the left. Here. Hold, I know I'm being mean, Make some changes here. Okay, center. And other side. And this one too also has a reach quality to it. So, center. So just like the compass, when you're out there like this, there's a reach turn. So it isn't just, there's like, I reach forward and rotate as I extend through the hands. Other side, one more time, both sides. Nice. Feel like you're extending through that straight arm, through those fingertips, connecting all the way through. Excellent. Center. And last one to the other side. Yep, good job. Center. And release. All right, 7. Ride the tiger. I don't know if somebody's going to let me do this, but we're going to try it. All right, let's start to the left. Remember, get your tuck. Keep your tuck. And slowly step out. And remember, knees out and sink. Push off. Other side. And get your tuck, crouch down, and step out. Head suspended, so try not to lean. Good correction. And when you get as far as you're comfortable or able to, remember, sink in the middle. Yep. Knees out. Good, Mr. Payne. Good. Very good. Yep. And push off. Other side. And go. And Mr. Payne, keep your head up. It'll help as you step out. I know you want to watch, but try to it'll help your balance. A little more weight in the center, Mrs. Payne. Yep. So knees out, you had the right idea, but you had shifted into kind of a front lunge. Good. And push off. One more, the other side. And go. Yep. Good. Excellent. Nicely done. And on this last one, just for a second, try to just imagine sinking, just even if it's a ½ inch more, so you can really feel it in that crease, now that you're warmed up a little bit. And then push off. Good, good. So that's not one that you do a bunch of times, but if you do it even 3 times on that, as you do it, even if your feet don't go out any farther, try to relax into it gravity-wise, just to feel that stretch in that connective tissue. Does that make sense? Alrighty. Number 8, Phoenix spreads wings. Alright, same thing. Yes, there's a fold with this, but I don't start leaned over, right? So I'm up here, but I have my tuck, and I'm crouchy, and I've got my head suspended, and rock. So the arms come up and back. And remember, we start a little slow, and then if you feel like speeding up, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. And relax. Number 9, hit the tiger. I know I said it again. I feel so bad for the tiger. We ride it and we hit it. It's not having a very nice time of things. All right, so
We have embraced the tiger.
we do embrace the tiger. We do. Yeah.
I never did that.
I'm still not sure that makes up for all the hitting and the riding, but all right. And let's go that way. So step, sink, and reach. Yeah, very good. I can tell senior head instructor helped you with this. Hand up. And out. Good job. And up. 2 more. And out. And back. Last one. Out. And back. Take a breather, shake it out, then we'll do the other side. And here we go. Step. And back. Again, out. And back. Out. Back. Last one, out. Good. And back. Last one, owl turns head, which I believe is on the menu for Backfist training. So that's what we will do. We'll look at it in a minute in more detail, but let's do it. So, tuck, head suspended, shoulders down, hands on the hips. And let's rotate slowly to the left. Let that breathing slow down. Remember, when you get there, you can look a little farther with your eyes. Center, slowly. Let the transition count just as much as the move. And to the right. Center. Left. Center. And right. Last one. Center. And release. Straighten those legs, lower the hands. Slowly inhale and circle the arms up. And exhale, press those palms down. Good work, everybody. I really hope you acknowledge the effort and improvement you guys have made. It's obvious, so good job. All right, let's go ahead. Bow to basic training. We follow the 5 parts: faith, respect, perseverance, patience, and humility.
I'll be head instructor.
Bow to intermediate level students, students training at home. Basic training is dismissed. Get a drink, shake it out, and then we'll talk owl. Be right back.
This always wakes me up.
Well, if you do it right, you should be sweating and tired.
Yes, I am.
It's just like any comp, if you do it right.
Most of those.
And I'm sweating and I'm tired. I do notice though the difference between my right and left leg. 'Cause,
Oh, yeah.
well,
My left is a lot weaker than my right.
well, mine's the other way around because surgery on my left one was almost 3 years ago. Surgery on the right was only a year and a half. So the left is rehabbed further than the right has. So I'm really feeling on the right. Especially I play the guitar, it burns.
Mm-hmm.
It burns. It's good there, it's really good. And this is part of it, this is making me do stuff,
It's a good workout.
but it's wild, the difference.
I don't know if I told you, but last night for master staff, everybody bailed except me.
Oh,
So I was all by myself. All right,
that's
private
a
lessons.
private lesson.
But all of a sudden you realize that wasn't working. He's fiddling with this thing. He
And
said,
you're,
you just do the flute for a while, I fiddle with this. Meanwhile, the next class is filtering in. So I'm going, that's a good thing I don't mind being, performing as a fool in front of other people.
You got that flute down.
I know,
No, not really.
well, you have the steps.
Kinda.
No, you know, we just have to protect it.
Here you go. I like that.
Buff it up.
I don't have the sequences down at all. I get lost about halfway through, because I forget where to go.
Cool.
Yeah,
And you know why?
Thank you for
Because I'm
looking
not
at that.
practicing.
I was halfway through and I looked up and I saw everybody looking at me. I went, oh, crap. They're doing
It's because I'm not practicing. Nobody
I
else.
thought it was yesterday, I kind of blew up, so I'm glad.
Well, you're right, it does help the practice.
Okay.
It does help.
You'd have to go.
Owl turns head.
We're glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Yes.
We are.
I'm back for now. My mom is still in the hospital.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Transferred to a skilled nursing yesterday, and then the in-network facility wasn't in-network, so they have to find another place, and then has 2 more days of her parked there, and it's not optimal.
Been there, done that. It
Yeah,
sucks.
no, I'm in good company. It is by no means limited to me, but I officially hit my wall when that
It's
happened.
tough when you go through it.
Yeah. So, I'll have to go, when they release her, I'm gonna go back up and make sure she's,
We understand.
Settle
You
at
do what
home.
you gotta do.
thank you. Thank you. Owl turns head, all right. So let's see if we can find some different tidbits about owl. So go ahead and, since this one's not too strenuous, follow along as I read CK2. Stand in the neutral position with the feet parallel and wider apart than the shoulder width. Let the body sink down by bending the knees and tucking in the pelvis. Turn the toes in slightly and spread the knees apart, focusing most of the body weight on the heels and outer edges of the feet. I'm gonna take a break and a breath and let you guys kind of feel that. I'm gonna make, good, sit back just a tiny bit, your hips are a little bit forward, so, there you go,
Oh.
good, there you go. The weight should be distributed equally on each leg throughout this exercise. Place both hands on the hips while the arms are kept rounded. So it's not like a jaunty, I got my hands there, I'm still thinking connected. You know, I turn my wrist out, so I'm thinking about my pinky being forward actually, so it's a little hard to see with my sash, but you know, I'm not just like, I'm really trying to connect through my shoulder and extend through my fingers. Hands on the hips while the arms are kept rounded. Suspend the head and breathing should be relaxed, continuous, and deep during this exercise. But if you can keep this connected awareness through your arms as you rotate the head, you know, that's an added thing. It's not just like I'm here and I turn my head. It's a whole body connectivity. Begin to slowly rotate the head to the right. Continue the rotation while keeping the torso and the hips facing forward. The head should be kept in the same horizontal plane throughout the rotation, which keeps the neck vertical. At the furthest limit of rotation, hold for 8 to 10 seconds. Maintain a continuous stretching of the twisting neck at this point, and then slowly rotate the head back to the center. Slowly rotate, good, very good. Continue the rotation to the left, again to its furthest extent. Hold for 8 to 10 seconds. Again, maintain the stretching of the neck. And then return the head to a forward-facing position and repeat the entire sequence up to 3 to 4 more times. Hold here, I'm just gonna go a little tilt. So I don't know if you could see my correction here, but one of the things that can happen is we don't realize it, but we turn and then we tilt. I'm exaggerating. She was not tilting this much. But it's natural for us to kind of have a position that our body is used to. Go ahead and continue rotating if you want, or you can watch me. But as you turn, remember thinking that head suspended, so my chin, everything you want to keep turning on this axis. You don't want to end up kind of accidentally thinking that your head suspended, but I'm actually doing sort of a neck roll. So it really is finding this axis here and rotating on it, right? Although this movement appears very simple, its subtlety is typical of the Nakong system. That is a fancy way of saying what it looks like and what it is are two different things. When analyzed on one level, for instance, it works on stretching the entire network of tendons throughout your body. Branches reach down to the underside of the arms, through the palms to the fingertips. Likewise with the legs, all are connected through with the back and the spine, along the spine, which is being stretched and twisted the way you might wring out a washcloth. So, again, if you guys don't watch me do it now, if you like, by, being mindful of the alignment, rooting through those feet. I feel the outside edges of the feet and the heel mostly is where the weight is, but the ball of the foot is engaged. I'm not cranking my knees out, but I am thinking rounding out. Got my tuck. I'm going to round through here. He's very rounded and exaggerated. I have a hard time keeping my head suspended if I'm that rounded. I end up doing this. So for me, this feels correct for me. And if you ever hear me come around and make that correction, like don't pinch off here. So you're rounded, but I'm not trying to crimp at this bendy spot. So I'm connected through the back here. I am rounded, but I'm not pinching. Got my head suspended. And already here, by having this alignment, I feel it all the way through here into my thumb this way. But as I rotate, now I feel that down into my pinkies, both sides. And I feel the root increasing in my feet, like I feel the pressure increasing as I make this rotation. Master Gohring has added a little thing that from here you can look a little farther with your eyes. I'll talk about why that could be helpful, aside from just being something else you can do. So notice I'm trying not to accidentally let my chin tip out, so I'm really trying to keep on that spinal vertebral axis. Okay, in addition to Nakong being, making correct, we as Westerners, we've got this forward head syndrome. Everything we do is, computers driving, whatever, and so we end up, I'm exaggerating, but this is where we end up. So what we don't want to do is rotate on this twisted, crooked axis, which is why shoulders down, head up, head suspended cleans up that spinal alignment, and so you can get good range of motion in the proper plane of gravity. And the reason why I say the proper plane of gravity is when your head is forward, your head average weighs about 13 pounds. So if it's off its axis, that's 13 pounds of body weight, which then gets magnified throughout the body, and so it pulls everything forward, and you end up with all kinds of muscle strain, postural issues. So this is really good for that. Now, your anatomy lesson for the day is your eye muscles connect back here. The optic muscles connect underneath the suboccipitals of the brain here. So by doing this and rotating your eyes a little bit more, you can actually affect a little bit of relaxation in those optic muscles. So if you have a tension headache, or just kind of you feeling that pressure in your eyes, sometimes doing owl turns head with that emphasis on rotating your eyes a little bit more can help release that. It's really hard to feel that muscle work, but if you're very light touched and you're subtle, you put your hand here and you rotate your, you look around, you can feel just a little bit of change back there. So that was one of my eye-opening, no pun intended, accident, I said that, in anatomy and physiology, like they connect through your head back here, and the answer is yes, they do. So owl turns head is excellent for helping to undo a little bit of that forward head, everything we do out here, and can help with some head and neck tension. All right, so let's try owl turns head a couple times together, and just on your own pace. You hear me say your legs aren't done yet, so try not to come up here and I'm just rotating. Really get the lower half of the body as well. Down know about you, but even just here, I feel a little bit of a pull through my shoulders because I've had them up in my earlobes for a week now. So, this is good for me too. Good. A couple more. We've got about a minute left, so just play with owl turns head. Oh, I'm gonna make a move. Head up. I know you don't realize all these little pinchy bendy things that happen. Very good, Mr. Payne. Mr. Loomis, help us back just a tiny bit. There you go. Nice work. Okay, finish whichever one you're on. No rush. Wrap it up. Good. And release. Any questions about owl turns head?
When you get to as far as you think can go, do you try and push or just the eyes?
So again, on this one, I would say the more times you rotate, like each time you rotate, see if you, and you probably don't have to even try. Like you'll be like, oh, I'm looking farther behind this time. So some of that tension will work out. I could say you can go just to that point of discomfort. I wouldn't try to force through it. What can happen if you do that is you'll get a neck cramp or weird stuff will happen, and we're not trying to do neck cramps. So if that happens, back it off a little. If it happens to me, I'm like, oh, that was too much, Durkin, but you're in front of the camera. How do you just come back? Okay, no cramping. So play with it. So in physical therapy or massage therapy, we say just to the point of discomfort and hang out there rather than plow through. Similar thing here. So get to your range. Don't back off from it, but don't plow through it either. But I would usually, even just as you rotate 2 or 3 times, even you can find it's like, oh, so look at me being an owl. So good question. Any other questions? No? All right. So since we have a few more weeks on this rotation, basically from now on is just pick a pose. If you have questions about anything, and that's how we'll do the black sash training portion. And let's do our life skills. The path of self-mastery requires balanced emotions. Balanced emotions do not yield to negativity. The path of self-mastery requires balanced emotions. Balanced emotions do not yield to negativity. The path of self-mastery requires balanced emotions. Balanced emotions do not yield to negativity.
To senior instructor.
Bow to intermediate level students at home, thank you for promoting me.
Congratulations.
Thank you, that was the easiest test I've ever had. So get a drink, come back out, and then you guys can tell me where you left off with senior head instructor, and we'll pick up from there.
It just seems right. Well,
Y'all have a busy
have a good weekend, guys.
You too. Thank you. You guys enjoy it.
Our grandchildren,
All right.
our grandsons.
I got a new great nephew. He's like this big.
Won't be that way for long.
No, none of them, if you know my nephews, none of them will be that way for long. I don't think any of my nephews are under 6'2". His brother, my brother, their dad is 6'2". Their mom is like 6'4". So they got some serious tall genes in the family coming up. Oh. Loving the students here, man.
try some of that.
Just masking the pain.
Yeah.
It's good for that. But it's just masking the pain so I can do it.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. I don't think Ed was here last night.
No.
Were you?
No.
So we finish up with Backfist.
turn around, start with back fist,
And
okay?
then,
Uh-huh,
big-
hidden hand punch, okay? And
I
have
don't
you
think you
seen
saw
those
the
moves
last
before?
I've seen them before, but I don't know.
Okay, so, did he tease any into the weird but not so weird grasp the bird's tail?
I don't think so. no.
Okay, that's probably what we'll look at today, so, but let's practice the turn around, strike with back fist and hidden hand punch a couple of times,
Okay.
all right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, let's see, so it starts from fan through back. That's where it comes from. And so you're gonna turn to the right, turn the left toes all the way in. Turn a little bit back to the left, right fist under left elbow. Sink down, step in. And as you step back, that's when the block happens. Excellent, Mr. Watkins. Shift forward, that's when the back fist happens. Turn the waist, turn the toes in as the chop happens. Everybody feel okay with that? Okay, for hidden hand punch, you're gonna reset the left foot. And then you're gonna shift to the left, lower the hands, sink down, and you're gonna then step to your T. And then it's gonna just basically be hidden hand punch like the beginning in the first section. Yep, let's do that one more time. So down to back. And turn around, start with back fist. So turn to the right, left toes in. Turn to the left, right hand on the left elbow, sink down, step in. As you step back is when you block. Shift forward, back fist. Turn the hips and the toes to strike. Good. Now reset the back foot so that your foot is at a wider angle. Shift to the left, lower the hands. And then sink down, step in, and step out to that T where you will hidden hand punch. Excellent. Release. Any questions about that? No? Good. Everybody here looked like they were doing it, but for people watching at home, just in the first section, we make this step to the T, shift, turn, and look, and it goes way up here. We do that to get the idea of turning the waist and coming down for the technique, right? If we don't really emphasize that, it's very hard to train that in after the fact. However, now with intermediate advanced moves, that turn is a little more organic. I'm not like, I call this the Japanese monster movie. It's not, it's just I turn and I punch. So that's one adjustment that happens, or change, or advancement, internalizing, that happens at intermediate level understanding of this move.
And there is less of a deflect downward?
It's still there.
It's still
just,
there, but it's not as pronounced.
Correct. It's internalized. So I've got that power and that torque from my waist absolutely happening, because this is one of the applications on your test. But it's, you know, it's here. So you see my body is there, but I'm not emphasizing that with my hands. But the waist is definitely, you see, it's here. So there is a down here. So I would say the body, the center of the body is the same. Excellent question, but you don't see it as big out in the hands. Okay, so I am here to tell you this next grasp of the bird's tail is actually very, very, where did it go?
Easy? Come on.
It's easy. It's not going to seem easy because it's so easy. So
It's like a helicopter, right?
it's easier than the helicopter.
Oh, good.
Helicopter, we trick you by saying it's easy. It's actually challenging. But this move, people overthink it, yours truly included. When I learned it, I'm like, this can't be it, it's it. Okay, so it's easy. Just channel head instructor gauge. It's easy.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to do it facing the camera so you can see what I mean. So you've heard me say grasp the bird's tail is any combination of ward off, pull back, press, and push. So it's not always the same, but it's, you know, that's that segment of moves. This is one of those times that it's a little bit different, and you have to think of your ward off left a little bit differently. So here I am, I've done my hidden hand punch. So I am going to do a ward off right, but I have to get to ward off right. And so there's a ward off left rock back. That is my ward off left. It'll be on the other side. So I'm just showing for the camera, so ward off left to ward off right, and then it's pull back, press and push, just like the beginning. That rock back, open the arms, trips people up something crazy. So, but all you gotta do is rock back and open the arms. So let's try it together a couple times. Maybe get behind me so you can follow along. So, let's end from the end of the turnaround starts with back fist. So we're in our double dragon foot placement. Right fist is chambered. We've got our left hand to chop. So we're gonna follow through, set the heel at a wider angle, lower the hands, step to a T, hidden hand punch. Make sure I'm on camera. Yes, I'm on camera. Okay. From here, I'm going to rock back, pivot on the left heel, and I'm going to open the hands. So I'm now on this back leg and my arms are here. This is your ward off left. This is it. Now, shift into it, step forward to ward off right. Everyone see how that works? And then do your pull back, press, and push. Let's do that again.
It's gonna mess me up, I know.
Hidden hand punch, reset the heel, lower the hands, step to a T, hidden hand punch. Now, rock back, open the hands. Ward off left. You feel it? You feel the rounded, like, don't come in my space, even though I've retreated a little bit. Now, sink down, step in, step out. And that's your ward off right. Pull back, press, and push.
One question,
Yes, sir?
going from the ward off right to the pull back and press,
Uh-huh.
are we still doing that little bit of a
Oh,
turn
good
here?
question. It's a little bit of a turn. This is getting to that point where with more experience, it's gonna look, you don't have to turn maybe as much.
But you still have a little shift.
Absolutely. There's always a little bit of go right to go left to go left to go right. Always just a little bit. And the reason for that is, see, like here, I'm stuck, like, right? So I have to do a little redirection so that I can then step. And it's the same thing here. This, I don't have room quite to shift here, but if I turn, I have a little more room to shift. So that's why it's a little unsticking,
Okay,
so to speak, without getting up my feet.
gotcha.
And try it sometime, like if you're like, well, why do I have to turn? Does it need to? I can't move. It's amazing how you find it's there for a reason, not just because Grandmaster Gohring told me and then I told you.
Reasons are good.
Huh? So, yeah.
Reasons are good.
Yeah. However, you will find the more you train, you don't have to turn as much. So what I see a lot with blue, purple, red even is we get to here and then there's this kind of a big, huge turn. Well, notice I lose my tuck there. Weird things happen. So I want to keep my alignment. So I've got my tuck, shoulders. That's enough. If I do any more than that, it breaks my Tai Chi for me. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, thank you.
So, one of the things that we talk about in advanced Tai Chi is what it felt like as a beginner will mislead you as an intermediate and advanced student because at the beginning, it's like you had to really turn and feel almost maybe off balance for it to look correct. But now if you go to that extreme, it's not correct, it's an overturn. So you have to kind of not rely on how it feels as much. Well, it's yes, how it feels, but not how it used to feel. Not like, I must wrench myself, like Embrace Tiger's Return to Mountain is another one. When you're first learning it, you feel like you have to step so far back. And then once you get comfortable with it, if you go for that sensation, I have to step so far back. That's not right either, right? So, good questions. Any other questions? All right, let me see it a couple times, and I'll help lead you through it. So start at the end of turnaround strike with backfist. So right foot forward with your chop. Good, and hidden hand punch. Yep. Reset, that's exactly right. And now grasp the bird's tail. So rock back, open the arms. And hold here. So remember, it's ward off. So this is going to be, don't let me come get you. Don't let me come get you. Okay, and now, ward off right. So you're going to sink down, step in, and then you're going to step just like you would in the first section of the form. So double dragons to meet. Yep. And then pull back, press, and push. And I bet you can guess what comes next.
Single whip.
Do it. Single whip. This one will not be diagonal, so this one will be all the way to the...
There I was thinking,
I know, so there's only one diagonal in each section. It's the first one, and then all the other ones are back to square.
I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
I think my feet are too close to
Listen.
mine. Should I be wider?
Try squaring your hips first, and then turn your toes in a little bit. Maybe, but I mean, it actually kind of looks okay. You could maybe go, I think what you were feeling was your hips were, your toe was here and your hips were here, and that
Okay.
felt tight ropey. But the proof will be, once you get your hips in the right alignment, I know I'm off camera, just listen. If my hips are in the right alignment and I get my toes turned in correctly, you'll feel it if you're not,
Okay.
if you're not.
And it
upright.
does feel better, thank you.
Yeah, good. Okay. If you didn't see that, or maybe you did see that. What he was asking is if his feet were too narrow. And it's very difficult to tell if your feet are too narrow if your hips are not oriented correctly. So if you're in single whip here, I'm naturally going to feel a little tight ropey. So I don't know if my feet are correct. So I have to turn these toes in and I have to orient my hips. Now, yeah, I'm narrow because I feel it pinching in my back. I look down, sure enough, here's what it should be. So it's a three-dimensional puzzle. Check your hips, move it there forward. Make sure your back toe is not all the way back out here. That is 45-degree angle. And then you can tell if you're at shoulder width or not. All right?
Thank you.
Sound good? Any other questions? All righty, let's bow out. Good work, gentlemen.
Head instructor?
Bow to intermediate level students, students at home. Master's back training is dismissed. Good job, everybody.
I heard senior earlier, I thought maybe I was wrong. Head instructor.
I think we're probably sending a hint
Yeah.
when we get into the office.
This, I think, I can't remember. I think I was going to try to test this year. And then the world dissolved.
Oh, yes. And things kind of not exactly normal. Man, thank you so much. I've got a video doctor appointment.
Okay, all right. So
Thank
look at
you.
that.
Oh, it's fine, it's done. It's just, she looked at my blood pressure, it's just, yeah, everything's good.
It's good, good.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
You're still alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you guys today's Thursday, so Tuesday.
Okay, sounds good.
I have no idea what day it is.
I don't either.
I just know I have a class at 9 in the morning.
Who wouldn't let you do your NACOM in the hallway? The hospital?
I'm sure they would. Well, actually not so much because of the COVID thing. I
Oh,
really kind of had to
right.
be in my mom's room.
Yeah.
I probably could have. I was just sort of,
I know, I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about.
she fell a week ago Monday and I didn't find her until I called a wellness check on her because she's in Arlington. And so she'd been on the floor for almost 24 hours by the time the cops got there. She has a rescue pendant, but it wasn't working, so she didn't have it on. And then she has kidney disease, which kicked off terribly, while she was in the hospital. She broke her shoulder, then went into acute renal failure, and then just
Oh,
basically.
that poor woman.
I know, it's heartbreaking. And then, my mom is not a dementia patient. She's fully with her faculties, but being in the hospital for 9 days and nights confused.
That's enough to drive anybody.
So she's
mad.
very confused, and so she doesn't remember what's happening, and so that's hard because they had lined it up for her to transfer to her kidney function stabilized, and they're like, okay, she can go to rehab. So on Sunday, I gave them the name of the, give me a list of in-network places. I picked that one.
No.
And then, it's a 2-day approval process, and so I extended my stay to try, because she was so confused, to stay there until she got transferred, because once she was in the nursing, I can't see, nobody can see her. She's in lockdown mode. And then the caseworker called me yesterday and said it was declined, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done, I can't. And she she's with it some of the time, and then it's like, oh, where am I going? How do I get out of here? Okay, okay, I'll go with you.
Right.
Don't get out of the bed. The alarm is gonna go off.
Right.
So, had to start 48-hour approval process all over again. So at that point, I'm like, I'm out. I
Everything
can't.
okay now?
No, she's still there. I mean, I'm still
Oh.
waiting to hear on if she, so she'll be there another 2 days. I talked to her this morning at breakfast time. Breakfast, she's pretty with it, so she, I'll call her a couple more times, but, just you hate leaving them that way. But I know, one thing, the hospital is outstanding. So I mean, I have no,
Which hospital was it?
she's at, Medical City in Arlington. It's there, she usually goes to Arlington Memorial, but they transported her there.
I think I've been by it, was it I-20?
It's on Matlock, kind of Matlock, closer to I-20. So it's their level 1 trauma.
Here, I thought I'd been to every hospital
Right.
in Dallas. Apparently not.
No, because there's one, but the care has been outstanding, so at least I'm not worried about, like, I never felt like I had to sit there and like, are you doing your job? No, they're babying her and taking outstanding care. I was just,
That's good.
but she'd also been cooped up for 7 months for the pandemic, so her doctor wouldn't let her housekeeper come in, wouldn't let any of this stuff come in, so I totally, dug out her. She did a remarkable job considering how immobile she is, but it was a lot. So I will go back up there when they spring her and then give her some in-home care and
Bring her.
possibly have to talk about assisted living, which is not a pleasant conversation, but we just can't have her all right and working so hard and worrying so much, so. But,
Good luck.
thank you. So I got home at 7 PM last night. Feel a little, I got to fall asleep standing up right now.
Sit down.
We'll take a break.
Yes, ma'am.
Good to see you. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
till they, till the door's in, then I'll be like, I gotta hit this pile. Yeah. What do you mean?
Lord have mercy.
Hey, what, if anything, should be here? I mean, obviously I have some tall weapons here. I still don't want students' weapons on this wall.
No, no. I mean, so in this space,
What?
you're talking about in this space here?
Anywhere that there's
Huh.
like there's only so much, like maybe at some point I have a bunch of staffs, but remember even at the old school, the tall staff stuff didn't go beyond here really.
Right.
And I'm ending up configuring it like the old school, which could be fine. I got tons of knickknack which I probably will just retire. Because people are asking me, are you gonna
Some
put
of them
shelves
are so cool.
up there?
Some of them are super cool.
Are you gonna put shelves up there? I'm like, really, I can't decide where knickknacks possibly
not
can
yet,
go
not yet.
until I have that done.
Absolutely.
And I could put the knickknacks all in the VIP room. You know, people will steal them, but.
Yeah. No.
Wait, is this off yet?
Yeah, it's off. I turned it off as soon as class is done.